Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life. This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is Astrology Table for Two.
And there's always a third chair for you.
Hey, this is Jordan.
And this is Rachel. And welcome to Astrology Table for Two. This is our first episode, so I'm so glad to have everybody with us right now. We are dealing with a full moon in Scorpio, and I can tell.
Yeah, I've been feeling it, and my moon placement in my personal chart is also in Scorpio.
Isn't that fitting?
So yeah, it's kind of a lot, but I think I'm just used to a lot.
I mean, I feel like I am a lot, right, at this point. Scorpio is my fourth house of home and family.
Okay.
And if this is Greek to you, don't worry. We're going to break some of this down a little bit. So we're talking about a full moon, the sun and moon opposition, sun in Taurus, moon in Scorpio. The moon's full on the 23rd of this month, April 23rd, at 6:50 p.m. Central Standard Time at 4 degrees of Scorpio. And the moon in Scorpio is kind of rough. Let's hear it from a natal moon in Scorpio.
Yeah, so you would call it the moon's fall, right? Correct, in Scorpio, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think it kind of is it more like there's more friction, maybe more, what's the word I'm looking for?
With the moon's own pursuit, so any planet in fall, its pursuit of its goals can be contrary to the goals themselves.
Okay.
And so it's not that it's not powerful. The moon has triplicity rulership in Scorpio. It can get things done.
Yeah.
But it also is like in its own action, its deep feeling, sensing, strategic action, it can be contrary to the moon's own goals of comfort and peace.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're approaching it. It's a more maybe neutral and like jarring kind of approach rather than a comforting and home-like approach or a gentle approach, which Scorpio can be gentle, but I don't think really it is. It kind of throws you into that transformation, which you adjust to when you have those placements, but it can be a lot for people.
It's a Mars ruled sign, so like it's self-care as a martial pursuit, or like trying to do comfort, and that's like you can't actively pursue comfort.
No,
not really,
not at all. And I feel like you actually end up finding comfort when you do go deep within, which is kind of the scariest part, I think. For a lot of people. Thank you. But from personal experience, that's kind of what I've learned is I know I can feel when I'm transforming, and it's just better for me to go with the flow rather than oppose it. But
well, and you just put it so well. So in modern astrology, they give Pluto the rulership of Scorpio, and I don't. I still give it to Mars. But Pluto is all about transformation. And Scorpio is a fixed water sign, so it's like the deepest feeling and sensing of all of the signs.
Girl, you're right about that. You're right about that.
It can feel so deeply that sometimes it's actually contrary to the moon's ability to feel. Like the moon is about feeling. The moon represents the body as well as the emotions, the inner life, like we were saying. And on a full moon in Scorpio, we can sometimes feel and sense so deep that it actually hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And it's very uncomfortable.
But then it forces you through that discomfort into brand new levels of awareness.
Oh, absolutely. And into calmer waters within. It might seem tumultuous, if I can speak.
Well, there's like a still small place inside, right, where we can all find that peace. But it's kind of hard when, y'all, the closest aspect that this moon is making to any planet, it's making a square, which is an angle of the nature of Mars, so active, dynamic, with Pluto, right? Mars, Pluto, Moon. Mars, Pluto, Moon themes are not like particularly easy or gentle. Gentleness was never an option.
No.
With this.
No.
So it might be intense, y'all.
This is by force. Yeah.
Yes, change by force.
So be ready. It's going to happen whether you want it to or not.
We're going to do inner growth, damn it.
Yeah, just embrace it at this point because it's not going to get easier.
Well, and so the silver lining here, though, is that this particular moon, okay, so the aspects are rough. Like a square to Pluto is like we're going to, by force, like you said, get some change made, and maybe it's not going to be the change that we imagined. It might be something that we're being, like, you can choose to transform, but oftentimes life just throws us into circumstances that force us to transform. But the Mars that is ruling the moon, because I'm a Hellenistic astrologer. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. It is at 24 degrees of Pisces, and it likes it where it is. So it's got a strong ruler. The moon has a strong ruler, and they're making a bi-trine relationship by sign. So,
oh wow!
Obviously, they're both water signs, and all of the signs of the same element trine each other. Trine is a little bit smoother; it's a little bit more growth oriented. It's an angle of the nature of Jupiter. But this Mars, for all you little technical babes out there, it is in its own decan and term. So it's got triplicity rulership. It's in its own decan. It's in its own term. And it's making a trine to the moon that it's ruling. So, like, we've got that inner strength. We might have some strength actually around us, some support of like positive community or positive relationships. And maybe even if whatever we're doing is really not easy, we can still get it done.
Right.
With this sort of a moon. I feel like, though, it's going to force everybody into the intuitive spaces. And like, we don't often like to listen to quote unquote intuition, because we live in a hardcore Western patriarchal society.
Yeah, I was going to say, intuition is very uncomfortable for a lot of people. It's very uncomfortable.
Dude, explore that a little bit.
And I guess when I say that, when you trust your gut, I feel like innately we are taught to not trust ourselves. So we kind of come into the world with especially in this culture, right? In the Western culture, you really... there isn't a strong sense of self-awareness, and there's a strong distrust of yourself. And I don't speak for everybody, but just kind of what I've observed, and also for myself, just based on personal experience. So I think intuition can be a source of discomfort for a lot of people because they've never trusted themselves or had to.
Oh, I think that's incredibly true. And it actually just makes me think of one more thing too. So who do you know? So the moon represents the body. Who do you know that loves their body every time they look at it? In this Western patriarchal society that just like thinks it's the fucking shit.
Not a lot of people.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people.
That
myself included.
And by the way, Jordan is one of the most beautiful people that has ever graced the earth.
Stop it, doll. Stop it. You flatter me. But no, there are moments where I feel confident, but my whole life I've, especially as a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have our insecurities that are kind of embedded into our unconscious and by society around us. But I have my moments where I do feel really confident in my sexuality, but constantly and consistently expressing that is very, very hard for me. Very hard for me.
And I think that's kind of a moon and Scorpio truth, is that like there are times like when we start aging, there are times when we get hurt, there are times when we find, something change that makes us uncomfortable. And listen, we're in a constant state of change. We're like 70+%
we're always
liquid, dude.
Yeah, we're always uncomfortable. You just gotta learn to get used to it.
I know. And then the trust of the process, like you were just saying, the trusting the intuition, that inner voice, trusting your body, trusting your mind. I think there's a lot of like we were talking about in this culture. There's a lot of examples being put forward as ideals which aren't even real. or aren't even possible, like edited photos that we all try to look like, or, people who have been surgically Mars enhanced that we're all trying to like just be like.
Right, exactly.
It's impossible.
Ridiculous standards, basically.
I'm gonna crack open this margarita for these ridiculous standards.
Ooh, that was a nice sound.
I
Will
know.
you open mine?
Yeah,
I have fake nails on, so I can't open them. Sorry. Thank you, Rachel.
No, not at all.
I am a girly girl.
Well, speaking of Scorpio, so Scorpio is my 4th house, home, family, roots, and deep self. I, for the first 20-something years of my life, bit my nails to the quick, like all the way to the quick. And y'all can't see right now, but they're nice. They're nice.
They look nice. Yeah.
And I stopped mostly when it was like, I really just, I don't feel that inner urge to destroy.
Yeah.
When you're young, it's kind of like there's a little urge to destroy
a part of yourself, whether that physically manifests. I mean, I pick the skin off my thumb, so
exactly.
I have the same anxious patterns too.
Well, and Scorpio is anxious because it knows too much.
You're telling me.
It feels everything.
I don't want to know everything.
But sometimes it's non-specific when we don't hone our intuition. And I think that's, if I could pick one piece of advice for this particular moon in Scorpio, it would be deep listening, the being still, the being with. And listen, Scorpio rules both the genitals and the excretory system traditionally. So it's about creation and destruction. That's why it rhymes with Pluto's significations or meanings. And I feel like sometimes we've got to destroy certain things, but that destruction needs to have a strategically channeled path, very Scorpio.
Oh, well, yeah.
Instead of just biting the fuck out of your nails.
Right. Because that's not a solution. That's not the answer. The violence, right?
Yeah. And we're doing a very Mars and Pisces thing. Pisces is the drinker.
Yeah, good.
Of all the zodiac signs.
Cheers to that.
Yeah, right here. Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
But we can't, having a one cocktail when you're having a podcast is one thing, but having a million cocktails because you don't want to feel the thing inside.
Right, being a hedonist,
Exactly. And that, I think, introduces the place where the dichotomy of Taurus and Scorpio, those are the two that oppose each other, right? Sun in Taurus creates a full moon in Scorpio. But that's where they kind of come together. Is in that hedonism. Taurus is absolutely. Like, yes. And Scorpio is like, we're doing this to forget. And Taurus is like, we're doing this to remember how delicious.
Yes, we love the feeling. We want to feel everything. Because Taurus is very much in their body as well, right? It's the physical pleasures or like the earthly material pleasures, not the whole thing. But, that's kind of how I see Taurus. But it's a much more grounded sign, I would say, in comparison to Scorpio.
I think they're both the same level of fixed, but the moon exalts in Taurus and the moon falls in Scorpio. So in that sort of pleasure-oriented, hedonistic, even sensual, grounded, earthy place, the moon can do some of its best work.
Right.
Like
you
the
really
vacation, like exactly, like the fine meal, like the perfect freshly pressed juice. And Scorpio is more like going on that bender.
Yeah, literally losing their mind. Staying up for 48 hours straight.
Yeah, or
getting to the bottom of it.
Getting to the bottom of it. But getting to the bottom
Obsessing,
of it physically is not easy. And I might be actually going out on a small limb here, but Scorpio placements can often be so deeply intuitive as to be almost like psychic or have mediumship. Yeah. And that's not also comfortable.
No, it's not.
Socially right now, unless you're in like a Latin country where they're hardcore still about like, of course you can talk to dead people.
Yeah.
We don't really fuck with that here. We don't at all.
People are terrified of that concept. They don't like that at all. Any concept of spirituality or even demonology or those kind of
energies, entities, even those words were like,
they're like, whoa, hold on a minute. What direction are y'all going in right now?
Yeah.
Don't worry. This isn't a demonology podcast.
No.
It could be, but
no, not whatsoever. But like I was, for this last eclipse, right? We had this Aries eclipse that just happened in early April.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was contracted to do tarot readings and astrology readings at a, eclipse party.
Yeah.
And everybody present was a Texan.
Yeah.
And everybody present was pretty, it was either novel or like slightly uncomfortable, but curious about the tarot.
Well, good. There was some openness then.
They were somehow more open to the astrology, but when I was starting to do the cards, people were at first approaching with caution.
Right.
But they were still approaching.
Because they're worried they're going to open quote unquote doors. That's what a lot of people like to say.
They will find or feel more than they had bargained for. And that's very Scorpio. So all of y'all who know your Scorpio friends, they are intense.
Yeah.
Intense is the word.
Keep us in your prayers because it gets intense around here sometimes.
And I think that's probably what we're all set to experience for this full moon in Scorpio. With that square to Pluto, there's something internally that's really evolving, that is actively changing and probably bringing us closer to a deep sense of authenticity, but it's also going to force the destruction of some really old inner things.
And it's not going to be pretty. That's going to it's going to feel like your whole world is probably going to crumble around you when we break out of those old patterns, right? That you're so used to, that you've created for your own safety and your own comfort, not realizing that they're hurting you. It's just what you know. It's really scary.
It's the death of something, like a story or the death of an identity. And then there's a reformation. But I always joke with clients, if you catch the butterfly in between the caterpillar and the butterfly stage, like when it's in the chrysalis, that shit is soup. It is literally
it's literally just in there, just soaking.
Right. And completely reforming.
Yeah.
And that it can look.
It's not a pretty process. It's very uncomfortable and kind of gross.
But we as people, are we not both glorious and gross at different points? Like the most beautiful people we know still take a shit.
Oh, yeah.
They do.
I mean, that's the human experience, right?
And if they don't, they're not doing well.
We're such profound beings, but yeah, at the end of the day, we all shit.
We are.
You know what I'm saying? Like
very uniquely human. And
right.
then, we've got this sort of eternal, divine, real, true soul part of ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
And I think this moon is going to force us into that part.
Yeah. Force us to look at it at least hold our eyes open maybe a little bit longer. But we'll see. I'm excited for it. I always, I used to dread it because I think intuitively, I didn't know it was intuitive. I could feel when a change was coming in my life, whether it was personal or whether it was going to be very drastic. And the times that I wasn't prepared for that change, which was more than half the time, it's just kind of how it works. Learning to just go with it, and looking back, those changes ultimately benefited me. I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't probably even know you, or wouldn't even be discussing this stuff with you.
We met about astrology.
Yeah, that's it, right? She continues to teach me so much about astrology every time we talk. So this has just been, I'm so excited for this experience.
Dude, and talking with you is the realest and the most fun. Like we get to the part that other people are like,
what?
Won't. Yeah.
I think they're like, wait, what? Like, what'd they say?
But then we can laugh about it immediately.
Right, yeah.
Not 5 minutes later, like right at the time, which is the important part.
That is the important. I mean, yeah, like life's intense, but it's also fleeting. So why not embrace the darkness? Why not, see yourself? Why not see other people and get to the root of it?
Well, in Scorpio medicine too, part of it, and I say this to all my Scorpios looking right into your soul, trust.
Yeah.
Faith.
Ooh, don't say that word. Trust.
Faith and trust in what is happening, in the truth of the process.
Yeah. Trust is a big, scary word because I know that I need it, but I still fear it. I do, like, trusting others is very hard for me.
Because you guys are so wise, and you know that most people are full of shit.
Yeah. And so, we've all had our own hurts. I've been hurt throughout my life, and it was always by people that I thought I trusted, and then I got let down, right? Which is like a normal pattern probably for a lot of people. But
Scorpio is kind of synonymous with fear of betrayal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
really
I have been
is.
betrayed.
Well, and all y'all have been, because that's part of the truth of being a human.
I know, right? We hold on to it a little bit longer. Like I still have anger and pain and not letting go of those hurts and those moments, even though looking back, they were very beneficial for me. Like in the long run, I'm glad they happened because I'm here now and I'm a different person than I was then. And those don't shape who I am. But it is hard to let go. We don't let go.
Oh, I have a Scorpio stellium husband, and he does not either. One thing that I think that Taurus is great at is forgiveness.
Yeah.
Speaking of the dichotomy.
The grace. Yeah.
The grace and forgiveness.
The compassion. Yeah. It's hard for me to let go.
Well, and you're like, especially as a Scorpio, you're like, okay, forgiving and or forgetting is not strategic for me now. I can't let that happen again.
No, I can't let you. Exactly. Like, why would I put myself through that again? It's to avoid hurt, which a lot of people do. It's, but with Scorpio, it's just a little bit more intense, a little bit more methodical.
Deeply felt.
Deeply felt.
And taken deeply.
Yeah. And, it's funny. I'm a Sagittarius sun, right?
Mhm.
And so it kind of feels like this huge contradiction in my chart when I'm sitting here wanting to have hope in the world and I have a very annoying amount of optimism in my life, which I think
Annoying
is,
for the Scorpio moon
right.
only.
It's a very irritating for my Scorpio moon placement because it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why do you shouldn't trust them. But yeah, it's a contradiction because I want to have this optimism. I want to see the good in everything. And I usually do, but then I have, this Scorpio moon that is telling me all the risks that come along with having that optimism and life is short. So you need to be careful. Like, what are you doing? But my Sagittarius sun is like, well, life's short. Fuck it. Let's just do it. Like, why are you so afraid? And the Scorpio moon isn't afraid. It just wants to protect. So,
well, and that moon for you is in the 12th place from your sun. So it's about all the self-undoing, all that deep feeling, all that like mental, emotional experience.
yeah.
And
So-
it's like, but I know. And the sun's like, but do it anyway.
But do it anyway. Have fun doing it. Like, who knows what kind of adventure you'll go on. And that's fucking terrifying, but also exciting at the same time.
And there is a little thing with Scorpio too, that you are allowed to enjoy pain. You're allowed to enjoy. It's like getting a tattoo.
Right.
People like live for it. And you're like, that doesn't feel quote unquote
They
good.
are addicting. Yeah. They're addicting.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is something too about like making art from pain, like creation destruction thing, when you can alchemize the things that hurt and be like,
Yes.
I'm creating beauty. Damn it.
Yes. I know. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to make something out of this. I love the word alchemize. It's a great word, I feel like, to describe Scorpios in general.
And this lunar cycle, I think that's the name of the game. Whatever we can alchemize, whatever we can transform from something that doesn't please us to something that gives us deep satisfaction. Scorpio knows a little thing about deep satisfaction.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We crave that intensity.
And that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio is one of the most sexual of the signs too. So like you can also there's a lot of alchemy that can be done through intimacy.
Yeah.
And Scorpio fears the intimacy, but this Mars being in Pisces, I think, is going to give us just the flavor we need
Yeah.
to be able to get to that point.
To reveal ourselves. Because
Mhm.
I believe deep down, and I just say this as someone with Scorpio placements, Scorpio wants to be vulnerable. Like, they want to be seen in their vulnerability, but that distrust is kind of what rules over that. And so it's really, really hard to see that vulnerability until they completely trust you. But I think deep down they're just terrified of that, but they want it. So I want it.
Yeah.
Like, I crave that. I think everyone does, but like, I crave it so intensely.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be seen and I want to still be loved after being seen. And I think it's that fear of being too much or being too intense. And so, yeah, it's a lot, man. It's
And
something.
going back to a conversation I had with the Scorpio husband earlier in the week, love without trust, question mark? Nah.
It's not that. No, trust is so important in any kind of love, whether it's small trust, whether it's big trust, whether it's
even trusting yourself.
Yeah. And allowing yourself to have fun and to be in that moment and to not overthink it and be suspicious of the future when we can't control the future. We can in a way, maybe a little bit, but
we can't even control other people.
I know. And that's what Scorpio wants to do.
So bad.
We crave that power.
I know. And that power is deep within and deep within all of us.
Yeah.
To transform the places that hurt the most into the places, like through that vulnerability. When we get to that point where we are confident enough and we trust enough and we have faith in ourselves and in the universe to share those things, that is when we can also open the door for other people to do the same, like lead through that emotional example and then bring comfort and peace to others about their broken bits.
Wow. Yeah.
And Scorpio can do that.
We can.
It's a healer.
Yeah.
It's a healer.
I'll get there one day.
Well, I mean,
I'll work on healing myself first and then I'll project that out.
And I think that's a perfect directive for this full moon in Scorpio. And so on that note, I want to give us just a moment to have a brief break for a word from our sponsors.
All right.
Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips. Get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
Hello, and we're back. So right now we're going to start discussing Mercury stationing direct in Aries at 15 degrees on this Thursday, April 25th at 7:54 a.m.
We love our top 3 transits, and Mercury stationing direct is one that we are all looking forward to. Because Mercury has been retrograde, or it's been apparently going back over its path, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the same sign as this eclipse happened. And a lot of people I know are being thrown. They're being thrown mentally right now, having to pivot, having to clarify, and having to re-understand their personal role. Aries is where the sun exalts, but it's also Mars's sign. It's the first sign in the zodiac, cardinal fire. It's about me.
Yeah.
I am
who I am, and I'm here, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm here to do whatever my purpose is.
Aries is the spark. That's kind of how I see them.
Totally.
You know, the spark, the initiator. And so they're very aggressive, and I say that in the kindest way possible.
Assertive,
yes.
confident, bold,
commanding, confident. Very admirable sign. I vibe with Aries a lot.
And Mercury in Aries is like that direct communication, that clarity.
Oh, it's to the point.
Yeah.
It might hurt. It might hurt some feelings.
It might be called blunt.
Yeah, they the politeness might not be there, but it's not intentional. I think it's kind of, they want to be heard, and they deserve to be heard.
Totally. And right now too, the thing that's going to be extra zesty, not only is this Mercury been retrograding the entire time, right, since this eclipse, it's been retrograding through Aries.
Yeah.
But it's also going to station direct conjunct the north node of the moon. North node being Rahu, being that attractive end of the magnet, the head of the Ouroboros. It's like the hungry bit of ourselves that's longing and aching for whatever our desire is to take us into the new and the next, into the future, truly. And so there's this very karmic, very fated nature to this Mercury station direct. So I feel like the realizations or the revelations that are going to happen, or perhaps the final pivots in the story, are going to be extra important.
Okay.
Extra important. So I would pay attention, everybody. Thursday the 25th. Notice who's talking to you, what they're saying, what you're thinking, and where it's taking you.
Okay.
This is very directional.
Yeah. Okay. Noted. I will keep that in mind. I'm kind of excited because we've been in retrograde, and I feel like I've honestly just been misunderstood. Probably the last week or so.
For
and
sure.
I also take things very personally.
Scorpio.
Yeah, it's just who I am. We talked about this earlier. I try not to take things too personally, but I'm excited to kind of embrace I don't want to call it chaos. I think it's just going to be kind of like a good kickstart, kind of in your face,
enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're going to be sitting on a rocket, you can't drive a rocket.
Yeah, you can't get off. It's too late.
Yeah, exactly.
You're already flying into the air, so you might as well just try to relax a little bit.
And there's been a lot of action in Aries. We've had Venus in Aries, Mercury's been in Aries, the sun went through Aries just until right before we recorded this podcast. There's been a lot of energy in that area of the eclipse. And we're still in that eclipse window as we're recording this. The full moon in Scorpio hasn't happened yet. Yeah, Mercury hasn't stationed. We're in the middle of that. What is it? We're in the middle of this very intense, directed moment, and it's. I hate to say full of dharma and karma because that's very not Western, but it's full of fate. There's a ton of stuff that is supposed to be happening.
Yeah, it's going to happen regardless, and so buckle up.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to happen.
Or stay unbuckled, whatever you prefer. If you want it to be a little volatile, you want some bruises and scratches, have some fun with it.
Aries likes it that way.
Yeah,
Aries likes it that way.
Yeah, they're fun. They're party animals.
They're kinetic.
They are.
And they might want to drive unbuckled. We're the ones who would totally drive the motorcycles because we want to feel alive.
Right. And that energy is kind of, it spreads. They can feed that energy into other people.
They can incite. They can inspire.
Yeah, very good leaders, in my opinion. But
notice where life is leading you. That's a really good way to kind of wrap this up, is to notice where life is leading you, where your thoughts are leading you.
Yeah.
And Mercury also rules commerce. So like literally in the working world, like this is very much involved in business.
Yeah.
What direction is the business going?
Okay.
Right? Because it's about to change. Like we're about to really finally get that third pass of Mercury. We have the direct pass, we have the retrograde pass, and then the third time is when it's going direct. So it won't clear its shadow for quite some time, meaning we're still working on the themes we've been working on.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all, it's not new. It's just the final step.
Right. We're almost there. Just be patient.
And Aries is not patient.
I know.
So notice where you're not patient, and then,
But be patient.
accept it.
Yeah, just fucking accept it, man.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm talking to myself when I say that. Just accept it.
The best
It's okay.
astrology is talking to
Yeah,
yourself.
literally.
Says the girl who talks into her phone every morning to do the Astrology Roadshow. Yeah. No,
Yes.
totally.
And I'm so thankful for the Astrology Roadshow. You prepare me every day.
Yo, I have to prepare myself.
Yeah,
I'll go
right.
back and listen to my own show.
Well, look, yeah,
afterwards.
you're reflecting that onto others, so I'm grateful for that.
And I think gratitude is the most grounding thing to do during especially an intense Mercury retrograde.
Oh, absolutely.
Gratitude about the information we do get. And even if we can manage it, gratitude for what isn't going right, because what's meant for us won't miss us. It's like
Right.
not possible. Oh, sorry. It's not possible.
Oh, you got a little aggressive there. She's
Venus and
feeling
Aries
that,
over here.
She's feeling that energy. Oh,
Venus
okay.
and Aries, yeah.
Well, speaking of Venus,
Yeah.
Venus is about to transit as well.
That's our second major transit is Venus entering Taurus
Ooh,
on
yes.
Monday, April 29th at 6:29 a.m.
What a beautiful sign.
my
Oh my
God.
God.
Yeah,
It's going to be so lovely.
So we have right now Venus in Aries as we're recording, and that is her sign of detriment. Now, Taurus is her sign of domicile, or it's her home. She's going to be at home. She's going to love it. She's going to stay there until May 23rd. So we're getting almost an entire month of like high quality, grade A, premium, plush Venus.
Yes, I like how you went to the really sultry.
The Taurus voice.
We're going into the Taurus. Yeah, we're going to Taurus.
Natal Mercury and Taurus over here. That's why we do the voice.
You do the voice very well.
Oh, thank you. But this Venus in Taurus, I think, is going to be highly anticipated and thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh, I can't wait.
I mean, it's been a
can't wait.
minute. So, okay, to be fair, when Venus is in Pisces, she's exalted.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got her, in detriment in Aries. And then we kind of get that relief of her being in Taurus. And we're all like, okay.
We can return. We can be calm. We can be at home.
Mm-hmm. But unlike Pisces, like we're not needing to get all mystical and spiritual. Like
No, we can
Venus
just
in
enjoy
Taurus wants to enjoy the enjoyable.
Yeah, so be a hedonist.
Yeah.
Go for
the
it.
nice food,
Yeah.
good sleep,
We deserve it. You
nice
deserve
wine,
it. I deserve it.
beautiful like green spaces,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
natural world,
lush.
everything that makes your senses just go,
Tingle. Embrace it.
Yes.
And do it threefold. Do it more than you would before.
Well, I mean, the savoring.
Yes.
The savoring. I feel
Yeah.
like so Venus governs all that feels, tastes, smells. Like Venus is what do we enjoy? How do we love? How do we experience aesthetic? How do we just personal pleasure?
Right.
And there's going to be a lot more access to that good feeling,
Right.
pleasurable, joyful stuff. And I think that is a nice way to come down
Oh, yes. And
off
relax.
of some of this
Yeah.
stuff.
Like kind of like getting in a nice bubble bath after a long day.
Oh,
with
yeah,
your bath
yes.
salts, your wine, your weed, whatever you partake in.
Taurus does all.
And so as they should. And I love it too, because like you said earlier, Taurus is such a forgiving and compassionate sign too. I feel like you're going to want to embrace this kind of energy, but also share it with the people you love. So you're wanting to almost make sure they're taken care of as well. So exuding that love and compassion and allowing them to also feel in their body too.
And you are actually completely embodying with that sentence the fact that so Venus will enter Taurus, but you know who's also there is Jupiter.
Yeah.
So both benefics, the greater Jupiter and the lesser Venus, all the cash and prizes are in Taurus right now. And so not just me, not just my Venus pleasure, but like my community, Jupiter,
Your
my whole
expansion.
circle.
Yeah. Oh, I love Jupiter. We love Jupiter.
So doing things that feel good with everybody.
Yeah, with everybody, because we all deserve it.
And we can all, I feel like at the base level, we enjoy some of the same things. No matter what your taste is, there is objective beauty. Like us all gazing at the eclipse or the sunset. Like there's
that
joy
communal
and beauty.
event. Yes.
Nature is just unavoidably stunning.
Yes, and Taurus really connects us back to that. And so I think doing it with the community is even better. It makes the experience just 100 times better.
And even the sound of falling rain,
Mm.
you know, and there's so many things that Taurus enjoys, but all of them pique the senses. And so I think that's, you know, I know we're doubly emphasizing this, but Taurus is in the body. Taurus is in the body. Not saying that Taurus is not anywhere else,
Right.
but Venus in Taurus is very much in the body. And so making sure that we are taking great care.
Yeah.
This is what the moon, when the moon is full or new in Taurus, does so well, is it takes such great care. It has the bubble bath. It has the
Yes.
bedtime. It has the wine. It has the perfect, you know, like 1,000 thread count
Right.
linens.
You don't need to worry. You will be taken care of. And whether you do that for yourself or you do that for someone else, you will be fulfilled.
And like you said earlier, since this is a moon in Scorpio still, this is the lunar cycle, tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah.
And Venus in Taurus is like, that's why today is delicious.
Take it in. Yeah. Take in all the
Soak it up.
deliciousness.
Ground in it. That's where the
Yeah.
gratitude comes from.
Yes.
Is for all. So Scorpio knows there's all the pain, and Taurus knows, but there is also all the joy. So like
Yeah.
you can ground in the truth of the beauty that does exist.
Right. There's a balance. It doesn't have to be in balance. It doesn't have to be all pain.
Speaking of a little bit of pain,
Ooh,
our
here we go,
third
girl.
transit here is Mars entering Aries
Ooh.
on Tuesday, April 30th. So right one day later at 10:30 a.m. Central Time.
What
And-
a whirlwind.
I mean, we're getting two upgrades. So Mars is entering Aries, which is its sign as well, one of its two signs. And it will be there until June 8th. So we're getting over a month
Yeah.
of some extra high quality ability, right?
Yeah.
Mars is the will, the action, the movement. And we're going to be sharp.
Yeah.
We're going to be quick.
We're going to be on it.
Yeah.
And we're going to express.
Mhm.
Whether, you know, it's going to be passionate. It's not going to be withheld. It's going to be expressed fully.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like this Mars in Aries is also going to help us integrate. So all the stuff in Taurus is square to the Pluto, which was square to the moon, right?
Yeah.
But all the stuff in Aries is sextile to the Pluto, which is an angle of the nature of Venus. So in terms of helping us skillfully integrate or bring things together, this Mars in Aries is going to bridge the gap between like the total collective transformation we're going through, like the revolutionary rumblings that are kind of running around the world at this point.
Yeah.
And then the like, but can I take a minute and meditate and eat a good meal?
Right.
Like there's a place between these that we can live.
We can find that balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that we can act with appropriate swiftness
Mm-hmm.
and also directed action. Mars and Aries is really good at like, hey, let me achieve this short-term goal.
Right.
Boom.
And I'll get it done.
Right.
Right.
Now, if there's a joke in astrology, if Aries and Scorpio, both of Mars' signs, were to have a fight, unless Aries wins in the first round, Scorpio's got it.
I hate to admit that that's true.
I mean, it's just
Scorpios
true.
are a little scary.
Y'all can
I'm
last.
gonna be honest. Yeah, it's a little scary. It's the indomitable human spirit. I think is the epitome of a Scorpio.
And you can take the pain
Yeah. Yeah.
required.
That's the scary, and
for
we
the long
can
haul.
transmute it into power, which can be a bad thing. Power is never viewed as a good thing, in my opinion. But
That's interesting. I feel like
Yeah.
empowerment, though, is like one
maybe
of the...
empowerment, yes, but power. I think Scorpios struggle
With
a
power
little-
dynamics?
With power dynamics, that's a
Yeah.
great. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's a struggle there, and I think sometimes we blur the line with empowerment and having power over others.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't disagree with. I always do things to make myself feel empowered, but am I putting others down to feel empowered?
And I feel like that sort of power sharing idea is kind of fundamental. Like we don't even think about how power dynamics change. Like even if a third person were to come in here and to this podcast, the power dynamics would change.
Oh, absolutely.
But I like Aries because it is all about personal assertion,
Mhm.
personal power,
Yeah,
which is like
which is
maybe.
admirable. Yeah, very admirable.
It might be a little bit less graceful to use that previous word, or a little bit less equitable, but it's like, hey, let me take us forward with my personal leadership.
Right. Like
Boom.
no one else is doing it. Let me take the ball.
Take charge.
Yeah, let me just take charge and let's see where we go. Do you trust me? And Scorpio's like, I don't know.
Right, exactly. I do think it's important though with Mars and Aries, like Mars and Aries can be a little bit like ready, fire, aim.
Yeah.
And we need to like, if you can just with Aries, if we can take a moment to act instead of react, we'll get the best part of
Ooh,
Aries.
Yes. You're right.
which is like, I thought about it, I aimed my sight, and now I'm pulling the trigger.
Right. Not just pulling the trigger with my eyes closed.
Which is what
'Cause it
Aries
felt
likes
right.
to do. Yeah. But it felt right.
But it felt right.
I was ready.
I was listening to my intuition.
Now we are all the way around full circle.
I'm a little harder on fire signs because I am one. So,
Well, fire signs all deal with the spirit. They deal with the passion. They deal with
You're right.
the, like you were talking about, the human spirit.
Yeah.
And I think this Mars and Aries, like if we do have some short-term personal projects, especially if there's been a big change and we need to kind of pull something forward, that Mercury retrograde may be stalled
Yeah.
or edited, we're going to have the power to then be like, all right, now we're going to go full steam with whatever this
Right.
new decision is,
Yeah.
with whatever I was going to implement.
Embracing the change.
But don't try to do something right now that's going to take you 3 years. Like, don't start the project now.
You wouldn't have the patience for that. Or
Right.
the energy.
Right. Mars is going to be in Taurus for quite some time right after this.
Yeah,
so
you do it then. You just wait.
if you need a slog, right? You need to move through something hard. But I think this is, and like these different, Mercury direct, Venus in Taurus, Mars and Aries, we're coming upon one of the best pockets of astrology, I think, of the year.
Really?
And the next lunation, so after this Scorpio 2-week period, full moon in Scorpio is done, we get an exalted new moon in Taurus on May 7th. And that to me is the best 2-week period in the year.
What a beautiful transition too. Coming out of the darkness of Scorpio and into the light of Taurus.
Well, and I think too, we're going to be coming out of the grind.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll get to calm down a little bit.
Yeah, and onto the lawn.
Yeah. Lay down your towel. Lay the blanket on the grass, or just lay in the grass.
Lay down your sword.
Yeah, it's okay. You can have it next to you, but just put it down.
So maybe there's a little bit like during these transitions, right? We're going to have during this moon in Scorpio cycle that Mercury is stationing, but the next cycle it will have already stationed. It'll be clearing its shadow. We'll have all of the nice things that we just outlined here, but we'll have them like the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well,
Although these next 2 weeks are going to be
fun,
great. They're going to be fun.
Full of energy.
Different, full of energy. I've been exhausted lately, but
yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I need it.
Yeah, right. And this moon in Scorpio, like, don't expect to be like as fully rested as you will the lunar cycle following. This might be the time. It's like the last little push.
Yeah, it's that mental. It's kind of
mental fortitude.
You're going to be
internal fortitude.
You're going to be mentally maybe in your head a bit. I will.
I mean, Mercury retrograde, station direct. Whenever any planet stations, it pulls focus towards itself. So you're saying,
and I'm going to be in my head. I'm always, as a Scorpio moon, I'm always in my head, but it's going to be a little more intensified. But I'm ready for it. It's not new to me.
And nothing's going to be new. This is going to be some older themes that we're then getting some new information about. So I hope everybody has the most empowering full moon in Scorpio possible.
No, don't have power over others, but remember to empower yourself.
Yeah.
During this full moon in Scorpio, and remember to transmute that pain.
Yeah, alchemize.
If I can do it, y'all can too. So
on that note, we love you guys.
Love y'all.
See you next episode.
Oh yeah, sounds good. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.
Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today.
In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.